Hello guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another tutorial. So today what we are going to do is we're going to continue the blog app, and let's try to finish a little bit, quite 2 or 3 pages of it today, and then we will move on to the development part. Maybe along with that we'll do the rest of the pages. So for right now, what let me just open up my project which we had previously. So let's open up our project where we left off, and what we are going to do with it is we're going to create a login and registration page first, and then maybe we will do the changes for this page, and then maybe a notification page for this part as well. So to do that, what we are going to do right now, I'm going to show you a little shortcut that I always use. I mean, most of you guys know already. I just all drag some previous page so I don't have to change a lot of content from it, and I delete the previous content that is not required for that page, so that I get a new page with the same layout but with a different content. We can paste it right over here. But since this is going to be a login page, so I don't want the action bar as well, so I'm going to remove that. And what we are going to do is our login page will have a primary background. I think it should be the primary color, the background color of our page. So I'm going to try to change the color of this page background. Either you can create a rectangle or change the whole fill color, doesn't matter, but make sure that it just looks good, so it doesn't affect your whole workflow. That is the main point over here. And right now we don't have a logo for our app, so I think it's best just to use a very simple plain text that will be photo blog. And I'm going to change the font for this one so that it looks like a logo, not just a very simple text. And then we can maybe export it, or if that font is available, we can then change the text font in Android Studio as well. But since, nope, not this one, our favorite font. All right, so a little bit bold, a little bit text size as well increased. And now what I'm going to do is, once our text size is according to the size required, which is 36 over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more text, and this text is going to be welcome to, and then we will align both of these to center so that we make sure, again, the alignment is necessary thing. Then I'm going to reduce the text size for this so that it doesn't look too large, and let me just somewhere around here, so that it looks like that we got some sort of logo and text over there, since this is not what our logo should look like. But you don't want to waste too much time on the logo design over here. But it's totally advised that you should do logo separately when you are working with some UI. Since we are not going to spend too much time for our app design, it's not so necessary. All right, so then what we are going to do is, now we require our sticker sheet, the components, material design components. So since I have already downloaded those in previous part, I'm gonna just open up that file, and we're gonna use the text views from that. So let's start getting some text fields. Since we have our design in a darker background, we want the text in front of that to be a little lighter. So this kind of text should work. So I'm going to use one text as that the email is written, then hint for the password. So for that, let's use this, and I think this should look nice, though. Okay, somewhere around here, though the color of the border is not our secondary color. That is one thing that we need to change over here. And also this thing should also go to the primary color over here, but the accent color should come right up over here. So again, we decided the accent color in the previous part, what should be our accent color, and you guys know how to choose any accent color. But I'm gonna make an exception over here, and I'm gonna go with a little reddish that is visible on, it should be not too dark. I think it should not be too much dark, but I am going to change it to some orangish kind of color. All right, I don't want to move that. All right, so this is something that I want for our app, though it does not look good over here, over this part, but it will definitely look good for some other text. Let's just try to open up the color tool again, and I'm going to select a different color this time. So yeah, let's choose that. All right, so in the tools we have the color tool. So previously we selected our colors from here, and this time, yep, this should look nice. So I'm gonna go with this as our color. Not so planned, but should look nice. Okay, so the color is a bit faded, doesn't look too much good over here. Let's just not worry about this for now, and I'm gonna type in some email, a very random email, and the cursor I'm gonna place it right over here. Also the cursor color to match with our this orangish color over here, right? And now what we are going to do is now we are going to create that password field. As again mentioned, the password field is going to be with the hint, so we can put it right over somewhere around here at center, and a 20 dp margin. So this is not in dp over this part, but you know what I'm just saying. And we place the password field. I want to make this line a little more opaque so that it's visible clearly, because while developing part we will be having a little more opaque kind of bar over there. Lastly, we're gonna need a button for login and a send to sign up page button, so that is required. So I'm gonna go to the button section for this page, and let's pick out some good button that is normal. And okay, this is something in our interest. Let's put it around here, and then I'm gonna make it as wide as our input fields. Also the text to the center align. I'm not going to use capital fonts because we can change that in Android Studio. So login to account should do the work. Also, if this color doesn't look good on button, yep, it does look good on button. So that was the whole point of having that thing look a little ugly, but this now makes the whole thing a little nicer. I'm going to increase the padding for our button because I don't want it to be too short. So that is one thing. A little bit padding for the button. Also we can increase the padding for these because that is also allowed in Android Studio. So maybe quite somewhere here also for this, so that it's almost according to that. We don't need to have like exact value over here, but it's always a good idea to have an exact value. That is the point. Okay, so we pasted the button inside the layer. That should not be done. Okay, so we got the login button, and okay, then we have the password hint, sorry, the password field. Also we have email field, the welcome text, the photo blog, app bar, and nav bar. Pretty much all the stuff that is required for our page. And lastly, a button for us to send us to the create account page. So I'm going to duplicate this button exactly this same size. This time it will be written over here, need a new account. And two things we are going to change in this. One is the background color for this. I'm going to use a white background, and the text is going to be the accent color. So this looks different from the login button, and also doesn't look like this is a primary button on the page, because the primary button on page is the login button, and that should be highlighted more than this need a new account button. You see that our design does not look too much heavier around this portion. We can add a little bit spacing. So to get a little better spacing, what we are going to do is, for this reg button, I'm going to move this to the bottom around here. We are going to make a little bit more space for our input fields so that we have better spacing. So 20 from there, and then this is going to be a little bit approx 20 from there. So we got a little bit spacing, a little bit towards center. Now this is totally a choice here. If you want to, you can have the whole form at the bottom, but I'd like to keep it at somewhere around here, like so that we have a little padding from top for our welcome and the photo blog, and then we have a little space for the inputs and the main form, and then we have a little space for one additional button that is need a new account. So I think that we have done quite a lot of work on this page. Not so required though. I mean, yeah, when you are not using material design, there will be a lot of work to do to create even the single elements that are in this page already created, like a button. We have to do it by yourself by creating a rectangle, maybe adding some shadows, gradients, and the text. But since most of the work over here is done, it's just making our work a lot easier to work with. All right, so let's create the register page. So creating that is again very simple. So all we need to do is duplicate this page and put it over here. This is going to be register page, and this time what we are thinking over here is to have the action bar and a back button for that action bar as well, so that we have, like, we can go back. But if you want to add a button to have like a separate button to go back to the login page, then I think we can skip the idea of having the action bar and having that back button over here. So we can work without that as well. What I am going to do over here is create a new account. All right, so we have that page. It looks like this is the create account page, though both of the pages are very similar, but this looks a little better. Also, the button text is going to be create account. Okay, sorry about that. And this button is gonna say already have an account. Okay, so what we are going to do is, for a little verification, I'm going to add one more field that will say confirm password. So that is kind of a little verification process that we have, so that user doesn't accidentally type some random password and then forgets it. So confirm password is a good field to have always for login, so for the confirmation of the password, obviously. So we add that, and our register page is ready to roll. And I think that this is the least work we have done on any page over here, because most of the part is done in the login page, and even more than that, most of the part was done by the Google designers. That is one great thing. I think this looks pretty nice. Let's have that section changed a little bit. So for this part, I'm gonna change the icon color, and this we can't change the icon color. Yep, we can change the icon color. Okay, and I'm going to increase the opacity of this to full. Also for our the text. All right, and also the opacity to full. All right, then I'm going to decrease the size of this so that it matches along with the rest of that. And again, I'm not going to too precise on this area, because this will be done in development process, and we don't even have to align these things over there. So I'm not worrying about the whole fixed alignment, because I mean, in sections where we have to align, like over here and there, sorry about that, and even aligning from left and right, that should be done pretty nicely. But since the difference is not even noticeable, I think we can roll with this over here, right? And this is going to be black again, and opacity to 54. Okay, so I think this looks better. Maybe we can have that bluish kind of color for this. guess we should have that color instead of this one, so we are going to use the primary color for these two. That should look better. I mean, both can look better. It's totally is your choice. Or if you are developing an app, go with any color you want. I'm just gonna go with this one over here. It doesn't matter. So we got ourselves 3 pages ready, and let's move to the notification page. The process is going really fast, so I think we can finish one more page over here since we are already only about 14 minutes in. And I am going to duplicate our home page, so this is going to be our notification page, because these both pages are on same activity, but the fragments will be different. So notification, and here we are going to change the layout for these now. Okay, I don't know where I'm just, yep, go down a little bit and go back up a little bit. Black color for this, and this, and opacity for both of these to 54. I mean, I just think that why they choose 54, exactly a very random number for the opacity. But like, if you're a designer, you most probably have a reason for everything. Just like in the Google's logo, the Google, if you see the logo, that is not actually quite precise one, but for the users to view, it looks pretty perfect. And that is one masterpiece in design. If you see, by many YouTubers, it's been explained why it is not so precise. So that is one great thing, and that is done over here as well. In the opacity part, the opacity is not 50%, not 60%. They have chose a very random value that is 54% for that, and I think it looks pretty perfect for the icons and the text to have that kind of color. So that is one great thing. I really like that, and I think it couldn't be any better than this. And I'm gonna delete the whole content for our page, and also let's create the whole list over here. Okay, so for that, what we can do is, since we have the card view, we can just remove a bunch of text and keep that part. We can use that also. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to our guideline section, design guideline, and let's see if we can use the cards view for that. Okay, so in the guidelines, it shows us that do and don't. A quickly scannable list instead of cards is an appropriate way to represent homogeneous content that doesn't have many actions. The use of cards here distracts the user from being able to quickly scan, and that is one great point. So if you have very simple and neat lists, like the content is 4 to 5 contents appear on a screen, it's not good idea to have the card view over here, since that takes a little bit of spacing from left and right, that margin it takes. Then it also have the shadows, and it'll make the page heavier, a little bit heavier, because rendering shadows is not easy. And if you have a low performance device, if you are using a list view, that can go really wrong in performance part. So there we have recycler view for that, but that is another thing, and I think they have explained it quite nicely over here. So we are going to go with the list view instead of having card views in a list. All right. Okay, so what we are going to do is, since the content is already over here, we just need the content from that. So what we can do is, I am going to use these 3, and I'm going to copy that. Okay, and let's go around here, and I'm going to paste right over here. All right, so we got our few content. I mean, let's just place it right over here. That looks pretty nice. Then the description is going to be changed to username, liked, or maybe commented on your post, and then we can show the comment over here. Okay, then we can show the actual comment over here. So that is one thing to have. I mean, like, if you want to how the notification is gonna look like in your device, that you can do it right over here. I mean, like, we don't even need the username. I guess we can just display the username directly in the description of that, and then we can extend it how much we want. And that is just one idea of having the notification. And for the dividers, let's see if we have dividers in the list items. And where are the list items? Okay, here are the lists, and they haven't provided us the dividers. Okay, anywhere else? There we have it. So we got the dividers over here, and if you check out what actually are the dividers and how much length you can use for them, that is also included over here. In the dividers, divider is just a 1 dp line. All right, I guess this is 1 dp, thickness is 1 dp, opacity 12%, black color or white 12%. So they have also mentioned the opacity placement along the bottom of the edge of content tiles. So each list item will have a divider at its bottom part. All right, so we will place it just like that. So we got 3 items over here. I'm going to group them as one notification item. All right, so shorter name is advised. Since I have already typed it, I'm not gonna go back and type it again. So another notification, I'm just gonna show 3 notifications over here so that we don't have to change too much stuff. Okay, so basically that is what our notification page is gonna look like, and we have created that in very low amount of time, I guess. Now all we need to do is change the username with some name and the image with some image. I think that is quite enough. And lastly, there are only 2 pages left. One is the account page. All right, not 2, more than 2. The account page, the search page, then we have the account setup page as well. Yep, that thing we need to do. So we are left with 3 pages. I guess I'm gonna pause this video over here, and we will do those 3 pages in the next part, and then we can move to the development of our app. So I hope you guys like this tutorial, and if you really do, you can like our video. Comments are most welcome, and if you guys want to subscribe us, that is also a great thing. You can check out our Tvac Studio channel, the development channel, where we do all the development part for this if you are new here. And if you guys want to support us, the link for PayPal, Patreon and Paytm will be in description. And as always, thank you guys for watching.